All right, guys, we are back again. Chapter 3, Lesson 3, the Middle Colonies. If you watched the previous ones, you remember we started out with Jamestown. We talked about how Jamestown came to be. The mission behind it was more for money than it was for religious freedom and tolerance. We talked about New England, how Plymouth formed, the Pilgrims, the trials, tribulations that they went through, the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and how from that split from the Puritans. And you had Rhode Island, New Hampshire formed from that. And today we're going to talk about the Middle Colonies. So once again, Chapter 3, Lesson 3. Remember, guys, this is just for a quick review. I've taken all animations and stuff out of here just so we can run through it. You can use this as a test review or possibly catch up a little bit on what you might have missed in class. So today we're going to talk about the settlement of the New Netherlands and the possession of the colony by the English. The Dutch influences the whole 9 yards. We're going to talk about the founding of Pennsylvania, what made it different from some of the others, and also just falls into place how we're going to learn to be able to identify the first 13 colonies and how their location and geographic features influence their development. We'll talk about the geography here in a second. Actually, we'll talk about it now. The Middle Colonies, remember the South, once again, the South, Jamestown, was really great for the growth of tobacco. You start getting a lot of tobacco farms, plantations there. That's because of the soil. It's because of the rain, the humidity, the heat. Tobacco loves that and prospers very well in it. Up north, we talked about how the lay of the land doesn't allow for the larger farms, the larger plantations. The soil is really rocky. It's not very good for growth. But they had lumber, they had fishing, they had shipping, whaling in some instances, iron. The Middle Colonies is a little bit of a mix of both. Of course, they're going to have cattle. There's going to have fishing in the ocean areas. You're going to have some grain being grown. They're still going to find some iron in there. Remember, Pittsburgh will ultimately be found to be the iron capital of the world for a while. You're going to have lumber and rum. Now, how does geography influence the way people live? Well, we just kind of talked about that a little bit in the lay of the land. The north had the rocky soil, the south had the great soil. And you're going to look here, you're starting to see English settlements right here in the red. You see the Dutch settlements here in the purple, and the Swedes even come in for a little bit and settle some areas. The French start up in Canada, and they're slowly working their way down, and that's where we're at right now. Now, the Middle Colonies drew a diverse population to North America. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but anything in the orange would be English. You're getting African colonists, you're getting German colonists. In the darker blue, you're getting Dutch. In the purple, Scotch-Irish. In the green, and the Scots, the good old Scots, are coming in right there. Now, as we go through this, I want you to think about it. Why did the Middle Colonies grow? What sets them apart and allows them to grow? After seizing the Dutch colony of the New Netherlands, the English renamed the colony New York and formed the New Jersey colony also. It's the main idea during this section. Now, the Dutch had come in. The New Netherlands was a very prosperous place. It was doing better in many instances than the other colonies that the English had settled. So, in true English fashion of the time, they come in and take over. Now, between the two groups of English-run colonies, you're going to find a little bit of land where the Dutch control, starting at the Hudson River, coming up through this area right here. Now, the Dutch West India Company offered large estates run by patroons to anyone who could bring at least 50 settlers to work the land. So if you brought 50 people with you, you were going to get a massive chunk of land. Now, the English, like I said, the New York region was doing very well. Much better in some instances than the English colonies. Kind of looked at it and said, well, you know, we've got English here, we've got English here. We might as well take that over and have English in the middle also. So, the English defeat the Dutch forces in New Amsterdam. King Charles II gave his proprietary colony to his brother, the Duke of York, who renamed it New York. You're going to find that naming the colonies. I mean, no offense to them, but they weren't very creative in this. So, my name's York, we might as well name it New York. The Duke of York gave the southern part of the colony to Lord John Berkeley and Sir George Cartier, who named the area New Jersey. Just like New York, New Jersey was a place of ethnic and religious diversity. That's one thing that set it apart. Many people were all coming to this one area. and doing rather well there. Now, Pennsylvania, I know we're breezing through, we're going through this really fast, but hang in there with me. Pennsylvania different from other English colonies? It did. Now, I want you to think about that. That's your guiding question as we go through this. What really set it apart? Well, William Penn founded the colony of Pennsylvania and designed the city of Philadelphia himself. You see William Penn here? You see William Penn, or at least a rendition of him. He was a Quaker. If you ever eat Quaker oats, you'll see the man's smiling face right there. That's a Quaker. Now, William Penn saw that Pennsylvania was a holy experiment. There was a chance to put his Quaker ideals into practice. The Quakers were what we call pacifists, and they believed that everyone was equal. They didn't like the fighting, they didn't want the war, they just wanted to be and let everyone be. Penn designed Philadelphia himself and wrote Pennsylvania's first constitution. You're going to see that one again. Once again, he designed Philadelphia himself and he wrote Pennsylvania's first constitution. All right, here's a copy of the Constitution right here, or a portion of it. This is kind of a layout, the drawing of Pennsylvania and his designs. We will actually, in class, talk a little bit about the Pennsylvania First Constitution and read portions of it and compare. Now, William Penn believed the Native Americans rightfully owned the land where he planned to build Philadelphia. This is a little bit different compared to other colonies where there's been this push, and we're here, it's our land now, we're going to take it. Penn took a completely different approach. Like I said, he believed that the Native Americans rightly owned it and worked to deal out with it. Now, Pennsylvania and Delaware, the Charter of Privileges allowed the lower counties of Pennsylvania, run by the Swedes, to function as a separate colony known as Delaware. So, because of Penn, you get Pennsylvania, just remember the name, it works. You get Pennsylvania, and then there's a group of Swedes in the southern counties. Well, he lets them do their own thing, and then Delaware is formed from that. So you see Pennsylvania here, some New Jersey, where New Jersey's formed, and now you have Delaware. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Middle Colonies. We'll cover more in class tonight. It was just a quick run through. I hope it helped you review a little bit. And any questions, please feel free to come see me in class. We'll see what we can do. Thanks.